York, a good karma Brands radio station.
Michael K. is on the radio today, and he ain't afraid to say what he's thinking. It's the Michael K. Show on 880 ESPN Radio.
And a good afternoon, everybody. This is indeed the Michael K. Show. We thank you for joining us on this Monday. It's September 22nd, 2025. What a weekend. What a weekend. So much to talk about, so many things to do. One thing the Mets have been saying throughout all this time, it's right in front of us. Oh, it's not right in front of you anymore. It's been taken away. You could win every single one of your games, and you still might not make the playoffs because right now you're out of the playoff spot. We'll talk baseball a little bit later on. Let's talk the thing that happened most recently, and that was the Giants. Did anybody think that the Chiefs were going to come in to MetLife Stadium and leave 0-3? Did anybody think that? Could you have thought that? Well, if you did, you were wrong. The Giants are tough to watch. I know it's an old harangue, but they don't do anything that's impressive. There's no imagination whatsoever when it comes to their offense. I mean, just take a look. They've got to have two scores at the end. It's 3rd and 4, and they run Russell Wilson into the line. Gain of 1. Oh, that's it? Before that, the intentional grounding. Then the 4th down, he throws it away. Well, what are we doing? There's nothing that you could come up with that's more imaginative and better than that? Now, I know Steve Spagnuolo is a pretty good defensive coordinator, but you can't come up with anything? Because I've said this before, and maybe I'll be on the wrong side of history on this. I'm a Brian Daboll fan. But he came here with the reputation as an offensive guru. Well, when does he start guruing? I mean, you could blame Kafka if you want. The final decision has to lie with Brian Daboll. They couldn't get their wide receivers open against the Chiefs. You couldn't get Malik Neighbors open. 2 catches, 13 yards. Wan'Dale Robinson, 1 catch. The only impressive thing that the Giants had yesterday was Cam Scatterbo. You look at that guy, and you say to yourself, you know what? He could be on a winning team. He's got skills that could translate to a winning team. But the quarterback situation, I mean, what are we doing? He looked awful in the first game. He looked great against Dallas. And Russell Wilson looked awful again yesterday. He looked skittish in the pocket. You watch the game. That's a guy who's jumpy. We've had Dan Orlovsky on. We have him on every week during the football season. And he said that Russell Wilson looks down all the time to see if the rush is coming. He's not looking ahead to throw the ball. The Giants are tough to watch. I mean, you could watch a losing team, but they're tough to watch because they make mistakes. And, you know, Phillips had an awful game, I thought, in the secondary. And I'm not comparing Russell Wilson to Patrick Mahomes, but Patrick Mahomes gets things done. And his offensive weapons have been diluted. 2 guys are out that are important to him. Somehow he still gets it done. Malik Neighbors might be one of the best wide receivers in football. You can't have him have 2 catches and 13 yards. He was unbelievable against Dallas. Unbelievable. And then 2 catches, 13 yards. One of them in garbage time at the end. What are we doing? So after what they saw against the Cowboys, the Chiefs said, we're not going to let the wide receivers beat us. And the Giants said, okay, cool. We'll just get the ball to Cam Scatterbo constantly. You've got to find ways to get people open, no matter how good the defense is. Kansas City does not have prime Deion Sanders in the secondary, that they should be able to shut you down that completely with your 2 offensive weapons. Again, when does the offensive guru begin to guru? When does he start guruing? The guy is coaching his way out of a job. And you do have to wonder, was that first season the outlier? He still had players from the previous administration. He still had players from the previous front office. They got the most out of Daniel Jones. And now nothing. They've been an embarrassment. An embarrassment. I don't know where the Giants go from here. I mean, you look at their schedule. NBC put it up toward the end of the game. They got the Eagles coming up twice in the next 6 games. You like their chances? The only game that you see on that schedule that you think they have a chance is against New Orleans, which my best guess is probably when we're going to see Jaxson Dart. And also, we keep getting teased with Jaxson Dart. Can he throw the ball? Why are you bringing him in to hand the ball off? To me, that's eyewash. Russell Wilson could do that. He has not thrown a ball yet. So what are we doing? Just showing off your shiny new toy, but you can't play with it. It's like the Steve Carell character in 40-Year-Old Virgin. He had all those toys, but he kept them in the box. He never played with them. Well, you never play with Jaxson Dart. You bring the toy out in the box, and then when somebody goes to open the box, no. You can only look. You can only watch him hand off. Come on. I feel sorry for dyed-in-the-wool Giant fans like Dave Rothenberg. I really do. I mean, what do you hang your hat on week after week? Both New York teams are 0-3. Now, I was just talking with Dave before the show. And we'll talk about this sometime during the week as well. New York sports are so bad. You know, everybody, I know Yankee fans get upset. They haven't won a championship since 2009. But let's be honest. What team gives you the best bang for your buck every single year? Every single year you know they're going to contend. Now, they haven't won since 2009. They did get to the World Series last year. Who is consistently giving you, as a fan, an opportunity to watch important games? And the only one I could think of would be the Yankees. The Mets are up and down. Rangers are up and down. Last couple of years, the Knicks have been on a steady high trajectory, but then they fired their coach. The Jets are down. The Giants are down. The Islanders are down. The Devils are up and down. Who's giving you anything but the Yankees? This is the biggest city in the world. And these teams can't get out of their own way. It's embarrassing. Embarrassing. We have dead seasons here. You know, we keep hearing John Mara go, I want to play important games in December. You might not be playing important games at the end of October. Jets, we're going to change our culture. Yeah, how's that looking? How's that looking, changing your culture? You know how you change your culture? Win games. The only New York team that gives you a consistent chance every single year to root for something are the New York Yankees. That's it. And that's not coming from Yankee boy. That's coming from a New Yorker. Tell me another team in New York that every single year you think you have a chance. If you're a Jet or a Giant fan, when's the last time, honestly, the last time you thought you had a chance to go to the Super Bowl? Been over a decade. When's the last time? The Mets were consistently a great team. 101 wins, fired. Go to the NLCS Game 6. This year, they're struggling to get over 500. Up and down, up and down. Last year, or maybe this coming season, I think every Knicks fan thinks they have a legitimate chance to go to the NBA Finals. Let's see if it works out. Rangers keep firing coaches. It's the Yankees. That's it. It's the Yankees. In the greatest city in the world, we have the crappiest sports scene. Unbelievable. Here's Rex Ryan on Get Up today talking about the Giants and Daboll, somewhat critical of both of them.
I don't want to hear any crap about how good Brian Daboll is as a coach. Give me a break. Oh, when you're 18, 35, and 1, you're a great coach? No, you're not. All right? And here's the other thing. You got a great player, get him the damn football. Here's the other thing. I said, this Scatterboo guy, Scatterboo, when I said going in, hey, that's a guy we can get excited about. Why? He looks like damn John Riggins. Put him out there. And you know who else you got to put out there? Jaxson Dart, okay? You got to put Dart out there. Why? Because at least you got a chance. You guys are telling me he's good. I don't want to see it in practice. Put him in a damn game. Nobody cares. You're not going anywhere. So Russell Wilson can throw the ball out of the end zone again?
You know what? Sometimes Rex is somewhat hyperbolic, but tell me he's wrong. What is there to root for the Giants? Your best player is Malik Neighbors. You got him the ball twice yesterday. At least you did highlight Cam Scatterboo. What else? Wan'Dale Robinson's a pretty good wide receiver. Nothing. Vaunted Giant defense. Couldn't come up with big stops, could they? I don't know if Jaxson Dart's the answer, but you know what? We are in the entertainment business. You know, that happens to be what the E in ESPN stands for. Entertainment and Sports Programming Network. How are the Giants entertaining you? How are they entertaining you? I don't get it. They really are a laughing stock. A laughing stock. Let's go to the phones. 1-800-919-3776. That's the number. And let's go to Phil in Brooklyn. Phil, start it off.
Hey, Mike. Every time the Giants get into the red zone, I mean, I've never seen worse called plays in my life. The 3rd and 4, Russell Wilson scrambling around. Where is he going?
I agree with you.
This is a coaching problem, too. They put Jaxson Dart.
Go ahead, Phil.
They put Jaxson Dart in the game to handle it. If they have him throw the ball, he throws a bullet over the middle for a touchdown. There'll be an uproar if you take him out of the game after that. So why even put him in the game at all? It's almost insulting.
I couldn't agree with you more. They bring in Jaxson Dart, you get excited, and he hands the ball off. That's what he does. Well, why don't you let us see him throw? I know you're not ready to turn the keys over to him. It seems like almost that you're using this as your life insurance policy if you're Brian Daboll, where things are going to get so bad that the only way you keep your job is to bring in Jaxson Dart, then unleash Jaxson Dart and show everybody, look, this is our future. I've got to be here to coach our future. Again, he's been here now 4 years. He's supposed to be an offensive genius. Have we seen it? So then you have to beg the question, was it Josh Allen who made Josh Allen great? Or was it Brian Daboll who made Josh Allen great? Because since Brian Daboll left, you know what? Josh Allen's still great. Still great. Let's go to Frank in Woodbridge. Frank.
I mean, if I were to run down the game, it'd just be another headache. But I'll say this. Yesterday, that deep pass to Thornton, who by all rights was a first-round flop in the Belichick system. They went to him once. It was an incomplete pass. Thank you, football gods. They went to him a second time, completed catch. You think Shane Bowen didn't stop to think, hey, if they go to him a second time, my DB cannot cover him, whoever it was at that point? Then Russell Wilson. Sometimes in pro football, you gotta just take what the defense gives you. Kansas City, Steve Spagnuolo is not the defensive coordinator at Dallas. All right, Dallas is a turnstile at defense right now. They just gave up 300 yards to Caleb Williams, and not for nothing, he's a question mark at quarterback right now. He's still understanding the NFL and going through the system. So, and with that being said, Russell Wilson is a seasoned vet, a Super Bowl winning quarterback. And you mean to tell me he cannot think about, okay, my deep throws are not open. Let me try some of my intermediate routes.
Well, you know what's funny, though, Frank, about Russ? I mean, Russ's whole game, even when he was great, and he's a long way from being a Super Bowl winning quarterback, long way. Always with the moon ball, doesn't like to throw in the middle of the field, doesn't throw between the hash marks. He did it once yesterday toward the end to Wan'Dale Robinson. He throws outside the hash marks, and he's trying to throw bombs. And when you take that away from them, what Spagnuolo did, they have nothing. They have nothing to go to. And everybody got excited about how they played against Dallas, right? But then Dallas gets wiped by the Bears yesterday, 31-14. So maybe Dallas just stinks. Maybe Dallas just stinks. So you can't really celebrate putting that many points on the board. Or that Russell almost had 500 yards passing. Maybe they're just bad. Let's go to Andrew in Medford. Andrew.
Yeah, hey, Michael. How are you today?
Good. How you doing?
I'm good. Can I mention something quick about the Yankees? I want to talk about the Giants that we talked about Friday.
Sure.
I just want to say thank you because I know after I talked to you about the small ball thing, you were saying some people might get upset. And I'm not upset at all. I like picking your brain. And how you mentioned how Boone said to you, they showed you the stats in the playoffs with the home run ball. And then you showed it to me. And I just want to say thank you, for doing that.
I hope that's what we could give you on the show. Obviously, I try to get inside info, but thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Now with the Giants, here we go. I'm going to show you right now. I'm going to tell you reasons why that Wilson needs to sit and Daboll needs to be fired, Because Wilson, first off, why wasn't he rolling around the pocket more, especially in that second half, so he could see the field at least, And then also they're losing, falling to 0-3 this season, and then they're 1-9 at home dating back to week 1.
It's amazing.
And it's their 14th time in their last 20 games they were held under 20 points. And the red zone, they were 1-3 in the red zone yesterday, and they're 2-10 on the season. People lose their jobs for that. And as you mentioned as well, with Neighbors, 13 yards on 2 passes, 7 attempts. And another reason too, Daniel Jones is 3-0 with the Colts right now. So the Colts organization knows what to do with a quarterback, but you could clearly see Daboll does not know, and the Chiefs aren't a good team either. And I bet you they lose to the Ravens next week also.
Well, Andrew, you bring up a good point about Daboll. One thing I agree with, one thing I don't. Now's not the time to fire him. I said at the end of last year, you either give him an extension or you fire him. They did the half pregnant thing, and they're just going to keep him around for this year, and then they'll get rid of him, and then you're going to create a situation that you did the last time when you hired Daboll, where he has to inherit a quarterback. So the guy that you're bringing in is inheriting a quarterback that Daboll is the one who politicked for Shane to move up into the first round to pick. And is he going to like Jaxson Dart, or are you going to start out all over again? So firing him now does nothing. They're not going to save their season. They're not good enough. But what a bad look it is for Brian Daboll, where Daniel Jones goes to Indianapolis yesterday. They go to 3-0, and they beat the Titans 41-20. Daniel, 228 yards in a TD. Looks like a different player. So, we want to point fingers. We always want to blame somebody, right? Well, who was there to blame? They decided to get into bed with Russell Wilson, and that was not their first choice. I'll give you credit on that. They wanted to get Stafford. That would have been a smart move, but it was a smarter move by Stafford to go, no, I'm good. I'll stay in L.A. with a genius coach. And then they tried to get Aaron Rodgers, who won a game yesterday, leading a last-minute drive to score a touchdown for the Steelers to win against the Patriots. They wanted him. He said no. Players see. You know why Russell Wilson came to the Giants? He had nowhere else to go. Steelers didn't want him back. He had nowhere else to go. It's a bad look when the quarterback that you could not even wait long enough to get rid of, that you got rid of with games left in the season, goes somewhere else and is 3-0 and beat out a former first-round draft pick to get the job in Anthony Richardson. Not a good look. Not a good look. Jay in Long Island. Jay.
Hello, Mr. K. Good afternoon. How
you doing, Mr. J?
Good. I'm a first-time caller. I'm 20 years old. I've been listening to you for a long time on the Yes Network as a Yankee fan.
Thanks, man.
I got to say it's an honor. And please don't retire. Just saying.
I have
please,
no
please
plans.
Do not retire.
Jay, I have no plans. You'll have to fire me.
Listen, I love Ruocco. Don't get me wrong. But, obviously he's a second-string announcer on there. But, yeah, I love you, man. The see ya calls, they never get old,
Well, thank you.
I'm just glad to call in. I'll make a quick point about the Yankees, and then I'll get into the Giants. They got to win out to win the division, I feel like. They got to win out. Sweep the White Sox, sweep the Orioles to win out, to win the division, basically.
Well,
Don't you think?
I don't know if they have to win out. I mean, it's all according to what Toronto has to do. They have to gain 3 games on Toronto. So if the Yankees go 4-2, Toronto would have to go, 1-5. So can they do it? Toronto's been playing terribly. But, I mean,
they're facing the Red Sox and Rays, right? The Blue Jays?
Yeah, and the Red Sox have to win, too. So that's why it's tough. And the Rays, the Rays are always going to be competitive. That's not an easy 6 games for Toronto, especially when they're playing. And now, they have the injury to Bassett and the way that Scherzer pitched last time out. They're in a little bit of trouble, but I still think that a 3-game lead with 6 to go is pretty good because I know it's 2 in the loss column, Jay, but it's really 3 because they have the tiebreaker. The Yankees have to pick up 3 games on Toronto.
Exactly. Now, I'll just talk about the Giants. Look, I've been watching Giants football a lot, I think ever since Odell, because he made me get into football. And I'll tell you what, ever since 2017, this organization is so competent, and it all starts with John Mara. The hirings he's made with his head coaches and GMs, he kept, what was the guy's name before Gettleman? I forget now because he was so bad.
Jerry Reese.
Maybe you can remind me. Jerry Reese, yeah. He kept Jerry Reese for so long. Jerry Reese was a terrible drafter. And then he hired Gettleman, and, how that went out with Gettleman. Terrible free agent signings, terrible drafting, and look what it all leads up to this with Joe Shane and Brian Daboll. And with Brian Daboll, that 2022 season was a whole foolery of, what was going to happen later on after they extended Daniel Jones. And
well, Jay, it's actually the worst thing that could happen to them because obviously they didn't like Daniel Jones. And what they did was by him having that year, they gave him the extension. So they gave him $80 million for nothing. Now, it was a 4-year, $160 deal, but you knew it was $80 million because they could get out after the second. And they got out even before the second. So you wasted 2 years of your development with a quarterback that you had no intention of keeping. You didn't like. And you were forced to do that because he took you to the playoffs and won that playoff game against the Vikings, then got wiped by the Eagles. Now, he also had injuries that hurt him. And it's funny, a friend of mine just texted me, said, you guys on your show were part of the reason you ran Daniel Jones out of town because he looked awful. We ran him out of town because he looked awful, and he looked awful because the Giants didn't coach him the right way and couldn't keep him healthy. Don't blame us. I mean, I find that humorous. We don't run people out of town. The front office does. The coaches do. If they're listening to out there in a lot of trouble, they'll end up hosting a radio show someday. We see what we see on the field. And we didn't see much with Daniel Jones. He looked like a lost cause. And maybe he was a lost cause because Brian Daboll didn't know what to do with him. I just watched the offensive calls that the Giants have in the red zone, and it's laughable. I could make more imaginative calls than that. And really, what would have been the harm when you're down by whatever? Would they end up losing by 22-9? When they're down 22-9, why not bring Jaxson Dart in then? You have almost a 0 chance of winning the game anyway. Why not see what Jaxson Dart has? I'm not saying start him. I'm not saying Russell Wilson gets pulled this week, although it's a possibility. But at some point, I don't want to hammer this home, but it bears repeating, when does the guru start guruing? We have not seen him be an offensive guru yet. And this is from a guy who likes Brian Daboll and think there's something there as a coach, but they're not showing it. They're not showing it. We're going to talk to Steve Young about this in just a moment when he joins us on his weekly segment here on the show. Hey, Game Time is brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, because when it's game time, it's Tully time. At 8:15, the Ravens host the Lions on Monday Night Football. You could watch on ESPN or ABC7 with Monday Night Countdown beginning at 6 p.m. on ESPN. Both the Yankees and the Mets are off. The Mets will start a series against the Cubs in Chicago tomorrow, and the Yankees will start a series against the White Sox in the Bronx tomorrow. Tullamore Dew, the original triple distilled, triple blended, triple cask matured Irish whiskey. Be sure to grab a Tullamore Dew. Try the new Tullamore Dew Honey during today's action. Glass up to enjoying Tullamore Dew responsibly. Let's talk with Steve Young in just a moment when we get back right here on the K Show. You're watching us on the ESPN New York YouTube app. You're listening on ESPN New York's app. And you're listening, of course, on 880 ESPN.
Monday with Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. With both New York football teams now at 0-3, are you more confident that we'll see a win from either the Jets or the Giants next week?
3 games in, you look like the same old Jets. Why would you not play Jaxson Dart at this point?
Or that the Mets will make the playoffs after falling out of the third wild card? Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg today at 3 on 880 ESPN, the ESPN New York app, and now streaming on the ESPN New York YouTube channel.
Hey Yankees fans, hit your next adventure out of the park and onto the water with City Cruises New York. Sail your way to epic skyline views, delicious dining, and premium drinks. Upgrade your game day with a dining cruise, a cocktail sail, or a night with your favorite entertainers aboard City Cruises Live. Whether you're celebrating a win or just the weekend, City Cruises is a shipload of fun. Proud partner of the New York Yankees. Book today at citycruises.com/New York.
Game time isn't just on the field. It's in your driveway, too. At Kia City of the Bronx, they're making plays with the full lineup of brand new Kias ready for you at 3505 Connor Street. Don't sit on the sidelines while your dream car drives by. Visit KiaCity.com or call 646-917-7955, and they'll get you behind the wheel of something fresh. Kia City of the Bronx. This is how the Bronx drives.
There's nothing the voice in our head obsesses over like our health. But with over 100 lab tests and insights, Function can help answer the questions like, why am I so tired all the time? How can I get better sleep? My friend was telling me about magnesium gummies she takes. How do I even know if my heart is work stress affected? It's time to up my cardio. If my mom has something, how would I find out? It's time to get some blood work done. A Function membership gives you a comprehensive health check with results tracked over time. Find out what you're made of at functionhealth.com.
You make sure his toys don't have any sharp edges. You taught her what to do when the smoke alarm goes off and to wear a helmet when she rides her bicycle. You do so much to keep your child safe. But are you using the right car seat for your child? Car crashes are a leading killer of children ages 1 to 13. Protect your child's future at every stage of life. For information on the right seat for your child, visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat.
Sponsored by the New York State Governor's Traffic Safety Committee.
You matter, and so does your well-being. If you're facing tough moments, struggling with anxiety, depression, thoughts of suicide, or substance use, help is here anytime you need it. Call, text, or chat 988 for free confidential support. New Jersey's 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is here 24/7 for you or someone you love, with trained counselors who listen and care without judgment. You matter. Remember New Jersey's 988. A message from the New Jersey Department of Human Services.
Did you know you can get more with New York Lottery Plus? You pulling my leg? No, seriously. Just enter scratch off and draw game tickets and get more points. Pulling a fast one? No. And you can put your points towards chances to win gift cards, cash prizes, and more.
Is this a stunt?
No, you even get points for playing new games.
You're pulling my chain, aren't you?
No.
Pulling my finger?
What? No. Man, put that thing away.
Sorry.
Introducing New York Lottery Plus. Download the app, sign up, get more. Please play responsibly. Must be 18 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. That's Cars with a K to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's carsforkids.org.
That leaf pile is 100 feet tall. Your dad can't handle this. Not without the right equipment.
Yard work piling up? Gear up for fall with John Deere. Get $750 off select mowers, $2,000 off select Gator UVs, and $3,000 off select compact tractors.
Did I hear your dad got a John Deere? Yep, bad day to be a leaf pile.
Gear up for fall at an authorized John Deere dealer, now through September 30th. Learn more at johndeere.com/gearupforfall.
Are you ready to unleash the beast? Monster Energy is here to give you the edge this college tailgate season. Loaded with bold flavors, our powerful blend gives you the energy you need to push you beyond your limits. Tune in all season long with Monster, the energy drink of ESPN Radio College Football Tour. Power your performance with a drink that's as hungry for victory as you are. Crack open an ice-cold Monster and dominate your competition. Monster Energy. Unleash the beast. Grab yours today.
Welcome back to the show. So the Giants lose, the Jets lose. Last second field goal, 29-27 to a Bucs team that was debilitated with injuries as well. So it's hard to make sense of the NFL. And a guy who warned me about this years ago said that this is still kind of preseason is our guest Steve Young. He said, you know, way back when he said, you're not really going to see stuff until Thanksgiving. And you do see really terrible football so far. So let's bring in the Hall of Famer, Steve Young. Hey, Steve, those were prescient words you gave me.
Well, I mean, as they continue, look, it used to be you lived in the city in the off season. Yeah, there's some big mini camps, but you met with coaches year round essentially, and you work with receivers year round. And now it's a couple OTAs and throw together a couple of weeks of preseason where you don't actually play, and then the season starts. So in many ways, for safety, the rules have been changed to make it safer, theoretically, and there's just less time, less sophistication, and that's why September is the preseason, and there's just no way to – look, Michael, what you notice is the really good teams, they're good in September. The really bad teams are bad in September.
Right.
And there's a big group of people that are just don't know, right? They're just kind of figuring it out, trying to see what's going to happen, and you have weird stuff happen that, like in Cleveland yesterday, like there's just – wacky stuff in September.
All right, so I'm watching the game last night, and I said, I've got to ask Steve this question. So, obviously, Steve Spagnuolo, the defensive coordinator of the Chiefs, watched the Giants against the Cowboys, said, look at Neighbors going wild, look at Russell Wilson almost throwing for 500 yards. I'm going to take that away from them. And he did. But my question to you, Steve, okay, so if a smart defensive coordinator takes it away from you, is there any way possible that you could take it back and still get those throws?
Yeah, but I mean, you just have to. It's a lot of times he's going to force, like he's not going to allow you to. He's not going to put us in a spot where he's exposed.
Right.
So what he's going to say is, look, okay, we're not going, and we're going to force you to be patient and very efficient, and in that way, you know, that's a personality September that's hard, right? As offenses get better later than defense. I mean, I always thought in training camp, you know, like defenses were better really quick. Now, offense, it takes a little while to get the timing, get everything set up. So that's why in September, that's why even more so it's the preseason. But if you think about it, I need to be even more efficient. I can't have it just a big play here, because that's just athletic ability. Like, go down, I'll throw it up. Russell can loop up some balls that are just drop him in a hole. Like, he's amazing. And so that stuff is always going to be a part of your game. When you take it away, you've got to be now, you know, you got to act like you're in November, like you just said. Like you have to, and it's not yet. And that's why it kind of unraveled for him.
Well, on Malik Neighbors, all right, I look at Malik Neighbors, maybe I'm wrong. I think that's a premium talent. And he had such a great game against Dallas. He has 2 catches for 13 yards. I mean, can you imagine if Jerry Rice had 2 catches for 13 yards? I mean, you wouldn't allow it, and he wouldn't allow it.
It's not unheard of. You get into tough spot. I remember at halftime, sometimes Jerry hadn't seen a ball, and Jerry had that funny look at him like he was going to throw up, and and like everyone's like, yeah, we got to take care of that quickly. But you know, again, it's such a bummer because to be 0-3, that's a disaster. Is that there's all this happening, and that's why I always said it's a little bit chaotic. Just pray you're 2-2 by the end of September because it's not. You don't know. And so you don't want to be as 0-4. Now you're in a huge hole. Everyone's screaming at you, and you can't. And you're developing, and all of a sudden you kind of, oh no, we got it together. We got to figure out how to use Malik better. Russell's got it better figured out, and you know, it's just football's a dance step. It's choreography. It's elite, kind of intense, kind of detailed choreography. And yes, all your questions are yes. Of course you should have figured that out. Of course you shouldn't have 2 catches. Of course you shouldn't be in the league. Like, that's all part of it. And that's why elite coach. Like everyone figures there's 32 elite coaches and innovative offensive minds in the NFL. It's just not. And so it's just a test every week to try to come up with something that works, that you've built up, guys can develop. And in the end, it's a referendum on your ability to innovate and figure out what's best. And you can see the guys that are amazing year after year in San Francisco and the Rams and the Chiefs. And now from that tree of coaching is now it's pretty much everywhere. And those guys are innovative and thoughtful, and you just got to go prove it over and over again. And so if your offense is not getting the full measure, Daniel Jones doesn't get the full measure of him, you can blame Daniel and throw him out of town. You can.
Right.
But it doesn't necessarily mean that that's the issue. There might be other issues.
See, now we're kind of on the same wavelength, and that's where I want to go with this. Brian Daboll came to New York as an offensive guru, a genius. He made Josh Allen. But now you wonder, did Josh Allen make him? Because you're looking at it through a much different prism than I am, Steve. And I look at them and I go, this offense is so unimaginative. In the red zone, they do nothing that's going to fool anybody. Is this a referendum on Brian Daboll? I don't want to trash the guy.
It always is. No, you don't have to trash anybody. The NFL is elite performance or not.
Right.
Like, it's not like I that's why I say it's like people are, you're really hard on this guy. Like, no, I was hard on myself. Like, it's like, get it done or don't. And so in the game today, and this is a longer conversation, I'll try to make it really short, but with the rule changes where defenders cannot launch their bodies and go head first, it slowed the game down, and there's a lot more space. And so the traditional way of attacking offense in the pros, I'll call it pre-2015, was what I'm seeing. And I go out and see the innovation since then of unique, weird, fun. Watch the Rams. Watch the 49ers. Watch the Chiefs. And, it's just always something new, always something a little bit different, always trying to, put the ball in open spaces that are now, that have more college-like space than they did before. And then there's people that are kind of running stuff that they ran forever. And it's just, I watch the Cowboys do that. I watch, just different teams. Just like you can be good, but I don't think you can be great. And so there's got to be, I think you got to innovate. You got to copy. You got to see it, copy it, and because that's the way to. That's who's in the Super Bowl.
All right, we're talking with Steve Young here on the Michael K. Show. We're in New York, and obviously the cries have been for the last week or so about Jaxson Dart. And when they bring him in, it's weird to me, Steve. Them hand the ball off, which essentially I could do. So they're not really showing any of his skills. Do you think it's time to go to Dart, or do you think they should wait?
Well, first of all, I think if it wasn't Russell Wilson, I think Russell's a smart, accomplished quarterback. Like, don't sleep on him. Like, he can go get it done, but he's got to get the help, and everybody needs the help and all that kind of stuff. So I'm not going to trash Russell,
Mm-hmm.
but Jaxson, I've always believed if he's going to be your quarterback, well, you believe he's the quarterback for the next 10 years, then let's go. Because if he's not, he might flail and might struggle, but he'll show you signs that I got this, I can figure this out, I can get this done. And the guys that can really do it, I think, don't collapse. And the guys that can't do it, I think, end up collapsing. So I'm for putting guys under pressure early. That's just me, but I understand why they're afraid. Because if he goes in and they lose, if they lose 3 in a row, and then where are you?
Right.
And then it's a tough spot. So again, it's a quarterback-driven league. It really is. If you don't have a great quarterback, you're not going to the Super Bowl. So we get all that. But quarterbacks, to be great, need lots and lots of help. And if they're not getting it, again, it's a referendum. It just is. It's a referendum on coaching and innovation and kind of play calling, elite play calling. I see innovative coaches that put in cool stuff, but they don't call it. So part of it is also just game day play calling. That's, you watch the best, Sean Payton, Andy Reid, saw him last night. Like, these are elite long-term play, elite play callers, and they're elite for a reason. And then there's others who are trying to get there. And that's why you look at coaching the same way you look at quarterbacks, so that you don't have to wonder whether they're getting it done or not, or it's not their fault or not. Like, if it's not getting done, it's the quarterback's fault and it's the coach's fault.
All right, a couple of quick hits before I let you go. Chargers are 3-0 since first time since 2002. Is Harbaugh going to make Herbert the star that we all think he could be with his arm talent?
Wasn't that amazing? That was an incredible throw.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Look, Justin Herbert was a kept man. It was frustrating for me to watch him run the ball and then 3rd and 8 or 3rd and 10. Okay, Justin, go fix it, and just get mauled and pushed around. And it was just terrible. He is an elite player, kind of like Matthew Stafford in Detroit. And so when Jim came, I knew it would get better. There's no question it gets better. But Jim is still, we're going to run the football. We're going to throw it on 3rd down. Now it is, I got to tell you, it's more innovative. But what I love about Justin's game is he's now starting to attack the line of scrimmage. Justin Herbert can spit out 50, like Aaron Rodgers did for many years. He can spit out 58, 60 yards on the ground and with ease, without really taking any risk, and score some touchdowns, some big first downs. And then when he does that, that puts the defense even more of a jam. Even that big throw he made yesterday, climbing the pocket, you looked like he was going to go run it, and then at the end pulled up, and I thought he was going to throw it left-handed. I mean, he probably could. But in many ways, I think the fuller measure of who Justin Herbert is coming out, I want to see it all. And if you saw everything that Justin Herbert is, he is Patrick Mahomes. He's Josh Allen. He is that guy.
All right. How do we explain the Packers losing to the Browns? I know it's early. I know we don't see real football till October. How does that happen?
So it happened. Remember the loaded 49ers went there a couple years ago and got beat early in the season. Well, look, the Browns have defense. Remember, defense is first, right? Defense gets better faster. So, all of a sudden you go to Cleveland and they keep you to 10 points, 2 touchdowns, under 2 touchdowns. Then anyone can win that game. And so that's where to go. And that's what happened. And I think also the Packers are, for the first time, everyone kind of named them, right? When Micah Parsons goes over, okay, favored, they're going to the Super Bowl, they're amazing. And you start to believe it, right? And then you just throw your jock out there, and it's like, oh yeah, don't you guys know we're the favorite in the NFC? And yeah, take this one shot to the face. No. And so in some ways, you have to grow into that role. It doesn't just happen, and you got to go play through it, because all of a sudden, NFL players are very kind of predatory and reactive. All of a sudden, if a team is now, this team is, they're the best in the NFC. Well, then the coaches use it all week. These guys are the best in the NFC. Let's see what you're made of. Let's see what we can do. You think, and all of a sudden, it's a different kind of focus than the regular game. And that's what the Packers are going to get. And so if you're going to be that team, like the Chiefs have been, like the 49ers in the last couple of, 8 and 4 or 5, 6 years in the NFC and others, you have to grow into that role. And you have to earn it every year. We just look, every the seasons come and go, and the rosters change, and so you have to go prove it every time. So in many ways, I think the Packers got punched in the face, thinking that they could just throw their jock out there, and now they're going to have to respond and go earn what people expect them to be, which is the best in the NFC.
All right, before I let you go, we're talking with Steve Young here on the Michael Kay Show. Just covering the Yankees all these years, I think that all losses are not created equal. I think some hurt more than others, especially toward the end of the year. The loss that the Eagles put on the Rams yesterday, is that one that sticks with you? Is that a kick in the teeth, or maybe even lower?
100%. It's painful. You pray that like the football gods owe you one.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I will tell you, the really good locker rooms, the locker rooms who self-police, who take care of themselves, who have the maturity to deal with crazy stuff like that. And I think the Rams have built that kind of a locker room, that kind of leadership, especially with Matthew and the team, that they know they're pretty good. So they're not going to, it is a terrible ride home. Like that ride home to LA last night was brutal. But because of how they're built and because of the innovation that Sean brings to it, they'll respond. But it is a gut punch, and there's nothing more painful in the world than to think that they had that.
Yep.
They put it away, and then it slipped away, which the Eagles are good, and then to see rumbling down the field like good night. It's like slow train wreck that you could watch. And that you're right though. It's gut wrenching. But early in the year, it's easier, and because it's the Rams, I think they can handle it.
So it's funny though what you're saying. Then if it's not a great culture, that could really hurt you for a while.
Oh yeah, the painful ones when you're trying to. Let's just say the Giants are trying to. Let's say they win a couple of games, and now they're 2-3, and they're like, okay, let's get the season back, and they play one. They play Philadelphia, right? And they have them, and the same scenario. That gut punch, then I'll go 2-4 is way more devastating, than it is to the Rams. If that makes sense.
It does. It does, and I wonder, was that a gut punch for the Jets yesterday? Because they're trying to build something, and they lose a game like that.
You need them. You need some things to break for you when you're trying to get from nothing or from irrelevance to relevance. It's some of it is luck. Some of it just things bounce your way, and sometimes it just it comes down to a play or two or missed field goal or whatever, and you just need a little of that. You need something to break your way. And when it doesn't, you're like, especially on the road, those are huge wins to come back and win. Like that's a potential. Now you do take the moral victory. People say, what's that? That's crap, Steve. There's no moral victory in the NFL. Look, when you're desperate, you'll take anything.
Right.
And so there'll be something from that, but you know how it is with the Jets. Wins are, that's it in the end. And so, and Aaron's not going to mess around. He knows the deal.
Steve, great stuff. Love talking with you.
Okay.
Talk to you next week. Bye-bye.
See you, Michael. See you, buddy.
That's Steve Young. So good stuff from him. And you know what? In his own surgical way, which is the way Steve did it, that's not throwing roses at Brian Daboll. A lot of it rested his feet. They're unimaginative. They don't come up with any new ideas. They are not on the level of a McVay's team or even an Andy Reid's team or a Shanahan's team. They're just not. And this was a guy who was advertised to be that. And we have not seen that, which is a little concerning. Talk a little bit about the Jets. We have Scott Van Pelt in the 2 o'clock hour. And don't worry, we'll talk baseball as well. It's the K Show. You're watching us. Right now, you're watching us. You see the camera? I'm pointing at you on the ESPN New York YouTube channel. You're also listening on the ESPN New York app and, of course, on 880 ESPN.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer. Our policy is to provide equal opportunity employment, development, and advancement to all current and potential teammates. If you are an organization that maintains a job bank, provides employment information, or gives job referrals, you may request to be placed on the station's mailing list for future career opportunities. To learn more about careers at Good Karma Brands, please email careers@goodkarmabrands.com.
The FanDuel Sportsbook app is your home for all your favorite NFL bets. From yards to touchdowns to who will win, with FanDuel, any play can be play of the game. FanDuel is giving all customers a 50% profit boost token on tonight's game. Now, for example, we got the Lions and the Ravens. Maybe you want to go Lamar Jackson yards, Zay Flowers anytime touchdown, maybe Jared Goff over yards, Derrick Henry anytime touchdown, St. Brown receiving yards. Whatever you want to do, make it happen at FanDuel, your go-to app for any snap. Just visit FanDuel.com/Peter. Plan your game with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. 21 and over and physically present in New York. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost token. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. For help with a gambling problem, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
Oh, what are you doing? Don't do New York City dirty.
New York City's my heart, my soul. I would never do this place dirty because everything I want is in this city.
Why would you want to dirty somewhere that you live?
This is your home. You don't throw papers out the window, flick cigarette butts.
It's disrespectful. Dispose of it the correct way.
I would never put trash on the ground. That's why we got trash cans. Don't do New York City dirty. Trash your trash.
A message from the Sanitation Foundation.
One by one, we keep this city clean, man. Let's get it.
At Uline, the prevailing opinion is, if you don't live it, you don't believe it. The people at Uline believe in hard work, and they live it by being there 24/7 to answer your call, having 41,000 items in stock, and offering same-day shipping from 12 locations across North America. Business owners, sellers, buyers, shippers, and packers believe it. Uline is the hard-working, dependable source for your shipping and industrial supplies. Visit uline.com.
At Garden City Mazda, discover more about what moves you.
Our fall kickoff savings start now. Don't miss out.
Our inventory of new and Mazda-certified pre-owned vehicles is unmatched in New York.
Embrace every unexpected turn with the new 2025 Mazda lineup. Refined performance. Spacious interiors to fit your life. Elevate your driving experience.
Garden City Mazda. Exhilaration at every turn, exceptional in every way.
Record numbers of residents are getting quality, affordable health insurance through Get Covered New Jersey. If you recently had a major life event such as marriage, pregnancy, or insurance loss, you may be eligible to enroll now. All health plans include preventive care, prescriptions, emergency services, and more. 9 in 10 enrolling get financial help, and many pay $10 a month or less. Find out if you qualify at getcovered.nj.gov. That's getcovered.nj.gov.
What is it that makes the all-new Hyundai Palisade hybrid an incredible SUV? Is it the spacious interior that's comfy for the whole crew? Or the capability to go off-road? Maybe it's up to 600-plus miles of range. Is it the driver behind the wheel? What if it's all of that and more? What is it then? The all-new Hyundai Palisade Hybrid. So much more than just another SUV. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details. That's 562-314-4603.
Empower. Tim collects bobbleheads. A lot of bobbleheads. Baseball bobbleheads. Race car bobbleheads. Little Chihuahua bobbleheads. He's got an entire room strictly for bobbleheads. Does he need them? No. Is his wife mad about it? A little. But Tim works with Empower, and he got good at money, so he can be a little bad. Ooh, horse bobblehead. Classy, Tim. Empower. Invest well, live a little. Start today at empower.com.
The ESPN New York Couchcast is coming, and things are heating up.
We genuinely really get along with each other.
I don't even think Peter watches sports. You could make the argument that Rick doesn't get enough credit for being a low-key fraud.
Carlin's going to be at this Couchcast, too, so we got to make sure we have a lot of cannolis.
The ESPN New York Couchcast is Monday night, September 29th. See it all unfold on the ESPN New York YouTube channel. Brought to you by the All-American Ford Auto Group, Calandra's Bakery, and Jacob's Pickles. Monday with Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. With both New York football teams now at 0-3, are you more confident that we'll see a win from either the Jets or the Giants next week?
3 games in, you look like the same old Jets. Why would you not play Jaxson Dart at this point?
Or that the Mets will make the playoffs after falling out of the third wild card? Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg today at 3 on 880 ESPN, the ESPN New York app, and now streaming on the ESPN New York YouTube channel.
Hey, the Ryder Cup is in New York, and Midtown Manhattan will become golf's biggest stage. You got to check this out. Ryder Cup Live at Rockefeller Center transforms the heart of New York City into an epic fan zone during every round. Fans can also see this show, The Michael Kay Show, broadcast live this Thursday, September 25th. That'll be from 1 to 3 p.m. So please don't miss The Michael Kay Show at Ryder Cup Live in Rockefeller Center. Brought to you by Michelob Ultra. No matter what you're playing for, make it superior with Michelob Ultra. It's 2.6 carbs. That's why I like it. 95 calories. A superior taste worth playing for. The official beer sponsor of the Ryder Cup. All right, so the Jets lose 2. They had 3 TDs in 9 minutes in the fourth quarter. This is what Steve Young was talking about. They're going to grab onto that, and they're looking for any kind of victory, even if it's a moral victory. Now, you want to get the victory, you want to get a win, but the thing that distresses me about the Jets yesterday, they came out and they looked terrible. Same mistakes as always, same penalties as always. And then they had to climb out of a hole with the 3 TDs in the fourth quarter. But then Will McDonald with a blocked field goal and a TD gave them the lead. But then Baker Mayfield, who's got that special something that we don't see here in New York, drove them down, and they got a last-second field goal to win it 29-27. Taylor was okay. He was okay. 26 of 36, 197 yards. He's a pro. But again, the Jets lose. So I keep hearing about, well, we're changing the culture. You don't change anything until you win. And you don't change culture until you get better players. That's it. Could they have used Justin Fields yesterday? Yes. But remember, you want to take a moral victory on this? Okay, you could do that. But remember, Tampa Bay was banged up with injuries too. This was your opportunity to grab a win on the road. You could not do it. So the Jets and the Giants are 0-3. 0-3. One quick thing I want to talk about, because we have Scott Van Pelt coming up in the 2 o'clock hour. I'm watching College Gameday on Saturday. I'm in the hotel. Where was I just? In Baltimore. And because the Yankees had a night game, so I was really able to digest the whole show and not, worry about getting to the ballpark for a 1 o'clock start. When did it happen, everybody? Please, you can contact me on X, Real Michael K. You can call in at 1-800-919-3776. Nick Saban's talking. I think it was about Syracuse getting waxed. He was predicting they'd have no chance against Clemson. And he said, Clemson's going to kick the, and he used the S word. You know, the word that starts with S and it means poop. He used it on TV, on ABC. When did that change? If I said that now, I'd probably get fired on the air. When did it change? And I think Pat McAfee used the word, I'll say this one, ass. It's like accepted now. It wasn't bleeped out or anything like that. Nick Saban said the S word, and it was cool. So are the rules changing all of a sudden? Is there a coarsening of society? Listen, I am not Paul Purebred here. That's Polly's brother. I'm not. Anybody that's ever been around me knows that I could curse with the best of them. I just don't say the F word. I've never said that in my life. But I've used every other word. Every other word. People have heard me say it, so I'm not saying that I am this Puritan. I'm not. But now at 11:30 in the morning, it's okay to say the word that means poop? Are we okay with that now? Have we changed that much that on a show where kids could be watching, and again, you're rolling your eyes, like the kids don't hear that at school. Yeah, they do hear it at school. Doesn't mean they hear it in my house. Doesn't mean they have to hear it on TV. So I just like to be advised of one thing. I don't want to be behind the curve. Tom Bauer, I don't want to be behind the curve. I want to be told the rules have changed. So, Tom, is it okay for me to use that word on the radio?
No, I would have to hit the dump button.
No, but why is it okay to use it on ABC television?
I couldn't tell you.
So if I say it now, you're going to dump me?
Yeah, I would.
Should I test it? Because it'll go over the YouTube channel.
I'm not going to be the one to encourage it.
If anybody tried to fire me, I would take a picture or a tape of Nick, the great Nick Saban, saying it on ABC at 11:30 in the morning on Saturday. I just want to know when the rules are changing. I don't want to be left behind. I want to know if I could start spewing profanities now on the air and it's cool. I think George Carlin's bit is now outdated. You can say anything you want, it seems like. Politicians say whatever they want. Nick Saban says whatever he wants, and it's accepted. No dump button. I am slack-jawed about this. I was sitting there. I was in bed, reading my iPad, and I'm watching and looking at stuff on the iPad. And then he said that, and I said, wow, this is unbelievable. Times they are changing. I'm going to say it, Tom. I'm going to say it in the 2 o'clock hour. I dare you to dump me. I dare you. Scott Van Pelt won't say it. He'll join us in the 2 o'clock hour. We'll talk some baseball as well. I want you to get ready for a new Monday Night Football experience. It's the ESPN New York Couchcast when the Jets take on the Dolphins for the Week 4 divisional matchup. Settle in on the couch and join the All-Cast with all of your favorite ESPN New York personalities for instant reactions, unfiltered commentary, and behind-the-mic banter. Stream live on our YouTube page from kickoff to the final whistle. We're all going to be together. We're going to have a great time. So grab your snacks, watch the game with the pros. It's the ESPN New York Couchcast presented by Calandra's Bakery. I'm not going to eat all day because I'm going to pound the food from Calandra's. I'm going to pound the food from Jacob's Pickles. Unbelievable. I might even drive to the event with an All-American Ford car from All-American Ford Auto Group. That's what I might do. It's going to be a great, great time. We want you to be involved. And All-American Ford Auto Group, by the way, the #1 Ford Auto Group with huge locations throughout New Jersey. It's all Monday. That's a week from today, Monday, September 29th, starting at 7 p.m. on the ESPN New York YouTube channel. Coming up, some baseball, some Scott Van Pelt. We'll talk Monday Night Countdown. It's on the K Show right here on 880 ESPN New York.
This Ryder Cup, Midtown Manhattan becomes golf's biggest stage. Ryder Cup Live at Rockefeller Center transforms the heart of New York City into an epic fan zone, complete with massive video boards, interactive golf challenges, themed cocktails, and official Ryder Cup gear. From Thursday through Sunday, rally with fellow fans, feel the energy of every match, and celebrate golf's greatest rivalry in the city that never sleeps. Ryder Cup Live at Rockefeller Center, where the Ryder Cup meets New York. To learn more, visit RyderCup.com.
This is an ad by BetterHelp. We all turn to some funny places for support, but not everyone is a therapist. Not everyone is the one. Find your right match with BetterHelp. BetterHelp does the initial matching work for you so you can focus on your therapy goals. A short questionnaire helps identify your needs and preferences, and their 10-plus years of experience and industry-leading match fulfillment rate means they typically get it right the first time. If you aren't happy with your match, switch to a different therapist at any time from their tailored recs. You can join a session with a therapist at the click of a button, helping you fit therapy into your busy life. Plus, switch therapists at any time. As the largest online therapy provider in the world, BetterHelp can provide access to mental health professionals with a diverse variety of expertise. Find the one with BetterHelp. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/timeout. That's betterhelp.com/timeout.
Put it in the box. This is your radio home for New York Mets baseball. 880 ESPN, WHSQ, and WCBS-FM HD2, New York.
When it comes to restoring cars, Diego's got skills. And with Total Wireless in his corner, the whole world sees them. With the dual camera system on his new iPhone 13, he can take amazing car photos and post them on the fly with super fast 5G, and even turn this hobby into a full-time gig. His claim to fame? Claiming iPhone 13 with 5G on us. Get iPhone 13 with 5G on us when you switch to the Total 5G or 5G Plus Unlimited 3-month plan. Total Wireless, in your corner. For limited time while supplies last. Valid in store. Device taxes and fees may apply. Requires port in and ID verification. Restrictions apply.
Surprise! Your expenses this month were way higher than you expected. Also, you forgot to renew your website domain, and now you're in a bidding war.
You should see the look on your face. At Progressive, we know small business owners don't usually like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise that could save you money? Getting a commercial auto quote from Progressive.
Plus, the fridge died in the break room, and now everything smells weird.
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 8 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
That leaf pile is 100 feet tall. Your dad can't handle this. Not without the right equipment.
Yard work piling up? Gear up for fall with John Deere. Get $750 off select mowers, $2,000 off select Gator UVs, and $3,000 off select compact tractors.
Did I hear your dad got a John Deere? Yep, bad day to be a leaf pile.
Gear up for fall at an authorized John Deere dealer, now through September 30th. Learn more at johndeere.com/gearupforfall.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. The first hour went by in a hurry, huh? Having a good time here. Co-host, get ready. I know I haven't gotten to you that much because we have the great Steve Young in the first hour on Monday. That's always one of my favorites. But I got to tell you, we have such great guests throughout the week. I mean, we've got Marcus Spears. We've got Paul Feinbaum. That's just tomorrow. Mike Lupica on Wednesdays. Chris Sims and Dan Orlovsky on Thursday. I mean, great stuff. You're not getting that anywhere else. Anywhere else. Know what Nick Saban said. This is the place. We're going to have Scott Van Pelt in a moment. We'll talk some baseball as well. Let's go to Mark in Syosset. Hello, Mark.
Good afternoon, Michael.
How are you?
I was listening to you. I'm well, thank you. How about yourself?
I'm good, thanks.
Good. So I was listening to your comment about Nick Saban, and immediately the same thing popped into my head about George Carlin's 7 Dirty Words, which I spent my youth listening to on my record player. So
right.
It's a dead issue. It no longer applies based on what I've heard and what I've seen. And if I have a second, I also wanted to make a quick comment about the Giants.
Sure.
And Brian Daboll.
Of course.
Because I'm a season ticket holder, big fan of the Giants. I've been a big fan of Brian Daboll's. And I'm hoping he succeeds because I think, like you think, he has something to bring to the table, but it's not working. And whatever it is, there's no imagination. They have so much trouble in the red zone, and he does nothing different. And I don't think it's just the personnel. I know he's fighting for his job, but I think they have to change up. I don't want to see Jaxson Dart in a game until New Orleans. I think that's the game he should be in. That's the game he has the best chance to play well and win, and the Giants have the best chance to win. I think you bring him in this week, it's going to be too soon. But I agree with you that Daboll has something to give. He just hasn't done it yet.
And I think that they've put him in this situation, though, Mark. And by that I mean you're putting him into a pay-or-play situation. So he's afraid to take chances because his career's hanging on the line. He's not going to get a head coaching job right away if he loses this Giant job. And that's what I've always meant when I said the Giants are playing it backwards. They're playing it backwards. That they should not have brought him back unless they gave him extra years. So they brought him back with the extensive marching orders. You know, you got to play important games in December. They're not going to play important games in December. The only thing's important about the games in December are going to be how Jaxson Dart's going to do. Winning or losing means nothing. They're not on the same level as the Eagles and the Commanders. They're just not. The Commanders, with their second-string quarterback, won a game yesterday. So, yeah, it's the lack of imagination. The thing that really got me was that last drive when they have to score quickly and then try an onside kick, and they run the ball with like a quarterback sneak right into the line. That's not imaginative. That's dumb. It's just stupid. Where is the funky things that other coaches do? Where's the Sean McVay innovation or their Andy Reid innovation or the Sean Payton innovation or the Shanahan innovation? Where is it? It's not there. Now, I wouldn't be asking for it if this guy wasn't advertised as that. But he's advertised as that. Oh, yeah, he's different. Oh, yeah. It's going to be unbelievable. It's going to be unbelievable. You got to see the offense. Look what he did with Josh Allen. Josh Allen has gotten better since he left. Better. And this is another pet peeve of mine. You hire an offensive guru. That's what Daboll is, right? Because of his work with Allen. And then you tell him, don't call the plays. Smart. It's like telling Paul Skeens, listen, I want you to start today, but don't throw your fastball. Don't do that. Don't throw your fastball. That's what it's like. The one thing this guy does the best, you take it out of his power to do it. That was the one thing bringing him back was contingent on. Mara said, I'd rather him not call the play. So he wants to turn an offensive genius into a CEO. It's exactly what he got. He's got a CEO. Now, we know he's an offensive genius. Maybe he's not a good CEO. Dave in the car. Dave.
Hey, what's up, Michael? Thanks for having me on. Thanks for saying this thing about how Allen made Daboll and Daboll didn't make Allen. I think for a very long time, you see it in the pros. They say, oh, he coached this guy up. He coached this guy up. He coached this guy up. You got to have a body of work or an individual to work with who's willing to put in the time. And so I guess my question to you is, if it was up to me, first of all, I do not like the way the Giants organization is being run. Second of all, they shouldn't have brought Daboll back. But right now, if you let him go, it is no loss. The fans are going to lose out. He's done nothing since he's beaten the Vikings. Nothing. And Daniel Jones is about to get comeback. God forbid Daniel Jones makes the playoffs. That means that we had Barkley and Jones in New York City, and they couldn't build around him with like 3 or 4 different coaches. Am I wrong right now for just saying cut ties and scrap this thing? Because the roster is not crap. That team has players. Let me know your thoughts.
Well, I would disagree with you on one thing, Dave. Cutting him now means nothing. The season's shot anyway. So let's see what he could do with Jaxson Dart. If they don't win, if they go 3-14, he's going to get fired anyway. Well, they're not going to save their season by bringing in, Bill Belichick? They're not going to save their season They're 0-3, and their schedule is a bear, and they still have the 2 games coming up with the Eagles within, I think, a stretch of 3 weeks, 4 weeks. I mean, they're staring at another awful season. They just are. So, yeah, it's problematic. But you know what's not problematic? The great. And I don't throw the word great around. I throw it around judiciously. The great Scott Van Pelt. And he joins us now on the Michael K. Show. Hi, Scott. How you doing?
Better now to get great from the stingy Michael K.
Oh, I throw it around like a manhole cover.
I know. That's why it's like I'm happy to have it. I wear it proudly.
I love this game tonight on Monday Night Football. Lions-Rams, I think it's really intriguing. Are you getting that same vibe?
Yeah, I mean, I think, look, but what you've got with Baltimore and Detroit are 2 teams that I think are legitimate Super Bowl, dreamer contenders. I mean, they have aspirations, and if either were to make it, it wouldn't be a surprise. I think with Goff and Jackson, you've got 2 of the very best, at least statistically, quarterbacks in the NFL early on. Like Detroit can hang numbers. We saw that last week. Baltimore scored 40 in each game. I mean, it's fun. It's like heavyweight. When the schedule comes out, like at the end of the year, you never know. It looks good on paper. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But this is early enough in the year where even though each has a loss, it's still, I thought, one of the best games on paper. Philly, LA certainly looked like it would be great, and it turned out it was. Hopefully we get something as thrilling.
Now, I look at the line. I have the Lions and the Bills going to the Super Bowl. And I thought that the beginning of the season for the Lions is going to be tough. Scott, I think losing your offensive and defensive coordinator is not easy for a team. Do you see them transitioning through that?
Yeah, because I think what you saw last week in Detroit, Michael, was very personal. Like Ben Johnson is a very well-respected offensive coordinator, but I know that the guys up in Detroit that are there that play and their head coach felt like, all right, look, he helped, but not for nothing. We're pretty good too.
Right.
So they dropped 52 on him with intent. And I think that first week in Green Bay was eye-opening because you're like, whoa, this doesn't look at all like what we're used to. But Goff's been a very different quarterback home and away, even when Ben Johnson was there. In fact, when they came to Baltimore a couple of years ago, they got absolutely boat raced. It was 38-6. So I think that they've got enough there to be just fine. But you're right. Look at Philly a few years ago. When you lose both coordinators, you have some missteps. You've got to kind of get things aligned again, and that's not easy. But I do think Campbell's the tone setter there, and they've got a lot of talent.
Lions-Ravens tonight, Monday Night Football, 8:15 on ESPN and ABC. And the Monday Night Countdown is at 6 p.m. on ESPN. Let's shift over, Scott, if you will, to the Giant game yesterday. What do you take out of that? The one thing that I've been talking about at the beginning of the show, when does Daboll start guruing? I don't see anything imaginative in their offense at all.
That's fair, Michael. I think it's easy to say we want Dart, and I know fans last night were saying that, but and then what? That sequence there late, that red zone possession was just, I can't remember seeing anything that looked that grim.
Oh.
I went back and looked at it, like the all 22. I mean, guys just sort of ran straight down the field and turned around. I mean, everyone's going to crush Wilson, and he threw a couple off the goalpost, which I'm thinking, at least give a guy a chance to make a play. I couldn't figure that out. But it wasn't like there was a whole lot of scheme happening there. And I understand Giant fans that are apoplectic here. They want to see the young guy. I know my partner in crime, Stanford Steve's like, throw Jameis out there. Like, here's a guy that's done it a bunch. You know, I don't know if you want to put Dart behind that offensive line, given its patchwork nature at the moment. I don't know how good that'll be for his development. But look, I think I heard you saying as you were bringing me on, like it's another bad season. And it's early, but it's going to get late in a hurry here. I wouldn't be surprised if Daboll makes a move just because other than playing against Dallas, where he threw for 450, I think Wilson against Washington and against Kansas City last night, this feels closer to who he is at the moment, and that's just not going to give you chances to win.
When you talk about the red zone offense and you're sitting there, and here's how I judge things now, Scott. I'm watching the game with my 10-year-old son, and he's looking at me and go, what are they doing? I mean, if a 10-year-old could say, what are they doing? I mean, what are they doing? I mean, what are they doing, Scott?
He's asking the right question. I don't know that there's any wise sage that's, many years his senior that has the answer. It just didn't look like much at all. And I think at that point, you see the body language, and people are just, I'm not saying that they didn't quit. It's just, you understand the resignation that the slumped shoulders from neighbors, et cetera. It didn't look like there were options to go with the football, but still winging it off the goalpost on fourth down is just such a sad trombone moment. And your son's asking the right question. And I don't know if there's anybody in that facility that has the answer.
And I think that last week when they put up all those points on the Cowboys, you started to feel good about things. But, Scott, I wonder if that gets taken away after what the Cowboys did against the Bears yesterday. Maybe the Cowboys just aren't good.
No, I think that's absolutely what we're looking at. I mean, Caleb Williams, there was a bunch of moments early on when you're like, wow. I mean, you had people nationally throwing him in the garbage already and saying this Johnson-Williams marriage isn't going to work. And then he plays against Dallas, and you're like, well, maybe he's great. Or maybe he got absolutely torched by quarterbacks that hadn't looked like that in either game that they played outside of Dallas. So I think that's the right answer. I mean, Russell Wilson threw for 450 against them, and Caleb had 4 touchdowns yesterday. So what's the common denominator? The Cowboy defense.
Now, Giant and Jet fans feel awful, but, just with their own teams. And then you see Darnold, his Seahawks destroy the Saints, and then Daniel Jones, his Colts destroy the Titans. And, Steve Young has always told me this throughout the years. Sometimes it's just where you are. You just can't succeed in certain places. And I wonder if the Giants and the Jets fall under that heading now.
It's hard to ignore how quickly Jones has looked different. I mean, he did go spend some time with Kevin O'Connell in Minnesota, who is really well regarded, Michael, for his ability. Quarterback whisperer. I mean, that sort of feels like a cliched way that we describe things in media, but it certainly seems to hold some water. And Steichen's a guy that's really well respected as on offensive mind. So, I mean, three games in, they've scored more points than they've ever scored through 3 games in the history of the Colts, and they had Peyton Manning for quite a while. So I don't know that I don't blame Jets and Giants fans today for looking at the heavens and saying, what have we done to deserve this? Because it just feels like some version of the same movie year after year. But I think that the situations that Jones and Darnold find themselves in both last year and this year, they're just better equipped to be successful. I don't think it's some curse of the Jets or the Giants, although, again, it's been a long enough run here that I do understand if people are wondering why this is their lot in life collectively.
See, but I'm not a curse guy like that. I don't believe in that nonsense, but I think that you have to have things in place to make people successful, and I don't think that Jones and Darnold had things in their place to be successful. I'm just waiting for Zach Wilson to be a Pro Bowler at some point, although I don't think that's going to happen.
That might be a bridge too far, but I think, but that speaks to the organization that identified him and said, this is our guy. Now, look, that happens a lot across the National Football League. It's a hard position to get right for whatever reason, but it does speak to organizationally, do you have the foundation in place to put somebody in position to be successful? And look, it's really early to anoint the Colts, but they're in a division with 2 really bad football teams, the Texans and the Titans, who are, both 0-3. So they're off to a fabulous start. I don't know if Jones is going to continue at this pace, but I'm happy for him because it just didn't work in New York. And for Darnold, he bounced all over the place. And look, he won 14 games in Minnesota. They were willing to let him go. And that's because they drafted JJ, and this is not of any interest to any of your listeners, but I'm just saying, just organizationally, I think stuff happens. But when it happens over and over again, then it's fair to wonder, what are we doing here?
Talking with Scott Van Pelt on the Michael Kay Show. Scott, you take anything positive out of the Jet game? I know they had the 3 TDs in 9 minutes in the fourth quarter, but if you look at the first 3 quarters, they looked absolutely awful.
Yeah, okay, but it's your backup, and this league often is how good a backup do you have? Like, are you able to have someone that can give you an opportunity to win? And we saw that around the league quite a bit yesterday, whether it was Wentz in Minnesota or Mariota here in Washington. I think they hung around long enough that a block kick and return did give them the lead, but Mayfield has got this magic at the moment where he's able to grab victories, and he's done it 3 games in a row now. I don't know. I'm not trying to sell anybody sunshine. They weren't great But it was your backup. So you try to get Tyrod healthy and hope that week 1 against Pittsburgh is a closer version to what you are than what we saw week 2 against Buffalo and then yesterday with the backup on the field.
Lions-Ravens tonight, Monday Night Football, 8:15 on ESPN and ABC. And then Scott starts it off with Monday Night Countdown starting at 6 p.m. on ESPN. Scott, as always, I thank you very much.
And you're great, too, and I love you with all of my heart.
I love you more.
Thank you, pal.
Be good. That is Scott Van Pelt. Good stuff from him. 1-800-919-3776. You know what happens now, right? Now it becomes the co-host portion of the show. This is when I embrace you, where you become the person that I'm going to talk with. I've done a lot of talking. You've heard from the great Steve Young and Scott Van Pelt. Now we want to hear from you. And we have not talked baseball yet because I've got a lot of stuff to tell you about what's happening with the Mets and the Yankees. The Mets right now, as we speak, everybody, this moment as we speak, the Mets are not in the playoffs. A $340 million payroll is not in the playoffs with 6 games left to go. But if they are what we think they should be, the schedule does favor them. The Cubs just gave 3 games to the Reds. Why can't they do the same thing for the Mets? And then the Marlins, I mean, I know the Marlins took 3 out of 4 at Citi Field, but if you're a real team and you really want to play deep into October, you go into Miami and you slap the Marlins around. We've been waiting long enough for the Mets to declare themselves. And now you might be saying, well, they have declared themselves. They're one of the worst teams in baseball for half a year. I still don't believe it. I still don't believe it. There are inherent problems. There are problems that make you nervous, but there are problems that could be overcome. So we'll talk some baseball when we get back. I want to hear from you as well. Hey, the FanDuel Sports app is your home for all your favorite NFL bets. From yards to touchdowns to who will win, with FanDuel, any play can be the play of the game. Now, FanDuel is giving all customers a 50% profit boost token on tonight's game, the Lions against the Ravens on Monday Night Football. Do you like a Derrick Henry anytime touchdown? How about that? Will Lamar Jackson go over in passing and rushing yards? How about Amon-Ra St. Brown? Will he go over in receiving yards? Those are just a couple of the things that you can delight in. So make FanDuel your go-to app for any snap. Just visit FanDuel.com/K. Play your game with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. 21 plus and physically present in New York. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. For help with a gambling problem, call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
Monday with Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. With both New York football teams now at 0-3, are you more confident that we'll see a win from either the Jets or the Giants next week?
3 games in, you look like the same old Jets. Why would you not play Jaxson Dart at this point?
Or that the Mets will make the playoffs after falling out of the 3rd wild card? Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg today at 3 on 880 ESPN, the ESPN New York app, and now streaming on the ESPN New York YouTube channel.
Record numbers of residents are getting quality, affordable health insurance through Get Covered New Jersey. If you recently had a major life event such as marriage, pregnancy, or insurance loss, you may be eligible to enroll now. All health plans include preventive care, prescriptions, emergency services, and more. 9 in 10 enrolling get financial help, and many pay $10 a month or less. Find out if you qualify at getcovered.nj.gov. That's getcovered.nj.gov.
At Garden City Mazda, our inventory of new and Mazda certified pre-owned vehicles is unmatched in New York.
Our fall kickoff savings start now. Don't miss out.
Garden City Mazda, exhilaration at every turn, exceptional in every way.
Right now, police are stepping up patrols to make sure drivers and pedestrians obey our crosswalk laws. Why? Because every year in New York, people are injured or killed just crossing the street. So remember, pedestrians, obey traffic signals and use crosswalks. And drivers, yield to pedestrians in crosswalks. If you don't, we will educate you on the law. And you may get a ticket, because tickets get attention. and that saves lives. A message from the Governor's Traffic Safety Committee.
Friends, it's summer, and you should be out there enjoying it. But if you're living with neck pain, back pain, sciatica, or nerve pain, that can feel impossible. You don't have to keep living that way. There's help. Dr. Shaw at Sandwell Pain is New Jersey's top pain specialist. Dr. Shaw is an Ivy League trained, double board certified, and he's dedicated to helping you feel better. And here's what makes the difference. No surgery, no scars, no long recovery, no pain medication, just precise, non-surgical image-guided procedures that get real results so you can get back to the life you love. Dr. Shaw treats neck pain, back pain, joint pain, migraines, nerve pain, sciatica, and he builds a plan that is right for you. Same day and next day appointments are available, and with offices in Woodbridge, Livingston, and Inglewood, relief is never far away. So don't wait, and don't let pain steal another day of your life. Go to SandwellPain.com to text, call, or book online. SandwellPain.com. Relief is closer than you think, and it starts today. Most major insurances are accepted.
At City Harvest, we believe no New Yorker has to go hungry. With your help, we're on the road 365 days a year, rescuing over 77 million pounds of nutritious food and delivering it free to millions of New Yorkers, transforming surplus food into sustenance, sustainability, and smiles, rallying thousands of New Yorkers to power a network of nourishment across our city. One day, one meal, and one New Yorker at a time. That's how we feed good. Donate at cityharvest.org.
Game time isn't just on the field. It's in your driveway, too. At Kia City of the Bronx, they're making plays with the full lineup of brand new Kias ready for you at 3505 Connor Street. Don't sit on the sidelines while your dream car drives by. Visit KiaCity.com or call 646-917-7955, and they'll get you behind the wheel of something fresh. Kia City of the Bronx. This is how the Bronx drives.
Well, to hit a home run, everything's got to line up perfectly, just like when you find the person you want to marry. When it's time to propose, well, do what I did. Visit the engagement experts at London Jewelers. From their beautiful 2 by London collection to custom designs for any budget, they make finding the perfect ring easy. Visit London Jewelers at any of their 6 locations and tell them I sent you for the Michael K. treatment. London Jewelers, getting it just right.
You matter, and so does your well-being. Call, text, or chat 988, New Jersey Suicide and Crisis Lifeline, for free 24/7 support with mental health, suicide, or substance use concerns for you or someone you love. A message from the New Jersey Department of Human Services.
Coach Saban here. On the field or on your walls, coverage matters. That's why I go with Behr Marquee Interior Paint and Primer from the Home Depot.
Exceptional hide, advanced stain blocking, and over 1,000 colors to choose from. Behr Marquee delivers one-coat coverage that stands up to real life. One-coat coverage, no overtime. Behr Marquee, only at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Valid only when tinted to colors from the Behr Marquee Interior One-Coat Hide Collection.
Now that I'm a dad, I can't stop thinking about what would happen to my kids if something happened to me, like losing the house or not affording college.
Yeah, that used to keep me up at night too. It's why I finally got life insurance from Ethos. It's 100% online. No medical exams, just a few health questions. I got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day.
I never realized it was that simple. Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game.
Rates may vary. Bill monthly. Sample rate 10-year term life policy for a 35-year-old healthy non-smoking male.
This is Bart and Carlin on 880 ESPN.
Here's the thing. They were bad last year. They're not supposed to be worse. We already know, like, the Russell Wilson part of it. At what part do we get through the Daboll part of it where we like, yo, we've seen enough? His first year, he won 9 games. He's won 9 games since. I know it was a plan, but at some point, we need to see what Jaxson Dart is, because that may be the only thing that saves his job.
Bart Scott, Chris Carlin, weekdays at 10 a.m. on 880 ESPN and the ESPN New York app.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. It's time for Diamond Notes, brought to you by London Jewelers. So the Mets lose to the Nats yesterday, 3-2. They lose 2 out of 3 to Washington. So this is after an impressive 2 out of 3 against the Padres. You have now lost 4 of 6 to the Nationals in a couple of weeks. Inexcusable. All right, so with that loss and the Reds' win over the Cubs, the Reds have the same record as the Mets. They're both 80 and 76. The Mets lost the season series to Cincinnati. So the tiebreaker goes to the Reds. I will repeat it. I've said it over and over again. It's going to be ad nauseum. If the Mets don't make the playoffs with a $340 million payroll, it is one of the great letdowns in sports history. This team went to the 6th game of the NLCS against the eventual world champion Dodgers last year. They added one of the great players of all time in Juan Soto. And they might be out of the playoffs. Are you kidding me? What's wrong with this team? So there are 6 games remaining. The Mets are off tonight, as are the Yankees. Here's what's left. The Mets have 3 games against Chicago at Wrigley. Then they have 3 games against the Marlins in Miami. The Cubs have very little to play for. Now, they are 3 games ahead of the Padres, so they have the number 1 wild card. So you could say they don't want to lose the 3 wild card games being played at Wrigley Field. So there's something to play for. But remember, the Cubs just got swept by the Reds. The Reds have won 5 straight. That's how they got into it. I've been telling you the longest time, the Reds are not ready to be a playoff team. But they're making me look dumb. Because, you know what? Winning 5 in a row when they really have to win 5 in a row. Here's how the Reds have remaining. They have 3 games against Pittsburgh and then 3 games at Milwaukee against the Brewers. Milwaukee will have nothing to play for. Pittsburgh never has anything to play for. So that's the Red schedule. The Diamondbacks are 79 and 77, so they're 1 game back in the loss column. The Giants are 77 and 79. They're 3 games back in the loss column, so I do not believe the Giants have a chance. Arizona, they have 3 games against the Dodgers, and then they have 3 games at San Diego. That's not easy. So I don't like the Diamondbacks' chances. I'll give you the Giants. Their schedule is easier. 3 games against St. Louis and 3 games against Colorado. Both of those series are in San Francisco. To get a feel of how bad the Mets have been, the Mets, since June 13th, are 35 and 52. So when we say, oh, it's shocking they lost 2 out of 3 to the Nats. You know what the Nats record is since that point? 34 and 54. The Mets, for over half a season, have established themselves as the dregs of the National League. There's no other way to put it. There's no other way to put it. And they don't have any luck either. Did you see the Jacob Young catch on the Brett Beatty fly ball to center field? He was playing hacky sack with the baseball, and he caught it, only to the Mets. Then Alvarez drives a ball that was either an extra base hit or maybe over the wall, and then Jacob Young goes out and makes the catch in the 9th inning. And even the game they won, nail biter. Nail biter. They lose in extra innings. They can't get out of their own way. And one thing that Carlos Mendoza said over and over is right in front of us. It's not right in front of you anymore. You have lost control. You have no control. The Mets have no control over their playoff destiny for the first time since April 5th of this year. And when I say no control of their playoff destiny, what I mean is this. If the Mets sweep the Cubs and they sweep the Marlins, they still might not make the playoffs. Because if the Reds sweep all 6 of their games, the Mets are, what do they say? Out. They're out. They would not be in the playoffs. Think about the enormity of that statement. Think about the absurdity of that statement. The young kids have shown a little bit of a blink. They're not as dominant as they were. They're pitching innings now they've never pitched before, and they're pitching high-pressure, high-leverage innings as well. Yesterday, Manaea started the game, was not good, and then Holmes came in, and he was good. But the Mets can't get big hits. Take a look at the Nationals bullpen. Nothing. It's awful. And the Mets couldn't get big hits. What's going on? And one cute thing, because I love cute things. I really do. Met fans, a lot of them. I don't want to paint everybody with the same brush because that's a mistake I've made. There's a segment of Met fans that are vindictive and they have a memory like an elephant. So let me relitigate. So I said when the Mets came into Yankee Stadium that Juan Soto was miserable. I stand by that statement. But people with the brains the size of peas think that I said Juan Soto will never be happy as a Met. Never said it, never insinuated it, never meant it to be thought of that way. You know why I never meant it to be thought of that way? Because if you thought I said that, you really have mental issues. You're not that bright. I never said it. I said when he came into Yankee Stadium, he was unhappy. And I also said several times after, he's going to be fine because he's a great player. So Juan Soto, in the one game that the Nationals won, he had a home run, had the big celebration in the dugout, big smile, and dimwits that can't let anything go, and they want to have one rallying cry. They send me stuff on X. Oh, he really looks unhappy, doesn't he, Kay? Why don't you all grow up or grow a pair? Because you know what? I never said that. I never said he was never going to be happy. Those 3 games at Yankee Stadium, you could ask people involved with the Mets. He was miserable, and they were concerned about him, and it was a guy like Starling Marte who snapped them out of it. And you know why he's happy? Because he makes over $40 million a year. He's playing for a big-time team with a big-time owner. He's got teammates that he likes, and he's a great player. So if you're not happy, then you have mental issues. Of course he's happy. But he was melancholy and glum. That was the word I used the days that they went in the Yankee Stadium. And I just know that if the Mets go off on a run and they win a couple of playoff series and Juan Soto has a great postseason, which he probably would, they're going to come to me. Oh, doesn't look that unhappy now. Really? Take the drool off your face. I never said that. So if that's what you hold on to, it's sad. Now, let me amend that. I don't want to be mean. It's not sad. It's pathetic that that's what you're hanging on to as your rallying cry. A big-headed sports talk show host, that's what you are hanging on the rim about. Something that I never said. Something I never said just because the brain cells are not as thick as they should be. I mean, what's wrong with you people? I never, ever said that he's going to be unhappy for the rest of his life. If I said it, find the clip of it. Call up, play the clip, and I'll say, you know what? You are 1,000% right. I'm wrong. You're right. I said he's never going to be happy. But you know what? You'll never find it because I don't think you have the mental capability to go back on the podcast and listen. And 2, never said it. Rather than worry about what Michael Kay said about Juan Soto, which I didn't say, but that's what you people are running with, maybe worry about your team winning games now. Because it would be one of the greatest sports collapses of all time. A team 20 games over 500 at one point. 20 games over. If they lose all 6 games on this road trip, they'll be the first team ever in Major League Baseball history to be 20 games over during a season and not finish over 500. That's what you should be worrying about. Not trying to tweak me for something I never said. I laugh when I get those things. I say how pathetic and how little of a life do these people have that this is something that they're hanging on. Stop yourself. You're embarrassing yourself, your family, and your future family. And get off of social media because you really are embarrassing yourself. Now let's go to Yankee fans. How many of you people, you know who you are. I'm looking right in the camera on our YouTube channel on the ESPN New York app. How many of you people gave up on the Yankees? How many? Raise your hand, because I know there are a lot. I took phone calls. I know there are a lot. I'm not going to root for this team. They're terrible. Boone should be fired. Cashman should be fired. They're awful. Do you feel stupid now? Because all they've done since the middle of August is be the best team in baseball record-wise. All they did on that gauntlet was go 7-5 against 12 games against 4 of the best teams that they were going to play. That's it. All they did on a 10-game road trip, which is usually a killer in September, all they did was go 7-3. All they've done is pull to within 2 games of the Blue Jays when all of you, and I'm not saying just a small section, a great many of you, you know who you are, gave up on this team. And why I'm saying this is this. Somewhere in the wiring everybody's brain, new fans, younger fans, you think that this is football, that you can't get out from under a bad stretch of games, that's the end of the season. It's not. Giants being 0-3, that ain't good. Jets being 0-3, that ain't good. The Yankees going 20-31 over a 51-game stretch, awful. They were awful. They were one of the worst teams in baseball. But give up? Give up. I'm not going to root for them. I want them to lose now so that Boone and Cashman lose their job. So you'd rather be right than have Cashman be right with the team that he built. Think about that. That's the fan that wants to be right rather than have their team win. And as I said at the start of the show, if you're a Yankee fan, you should consider yourself blessed. Blessed. You know why? Your team, every single year, gives you at least a hope of winning a championship. Tell me the other team in New York that does that. I'll wait. And I'll be waiting right through Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg for you to give me an answer, because there is no other answer. There's one team that every single year puts a viable product on the field. You think the Jets do? You think the Giants do? You think the Nets do? You think the Islanders do? You think the Rangers every single year put a viable product on the field? All they do is fire coaches. The Devils had a bad year last year. Who every single year gives you a real chance, a real hope of going far in the playoffs? And you'll say, I know the Yankee fans sitting back now, well, they haven't won since 2000. Not saying that. Every year, though, they've had an opportunity to win. The only team in New York, every single year, that gives you hope. You think Jet fans have hope right now? You think Giant fans have hope? They hope the season's over, because it pretty much is. The Mets, 101 win. The manager gets fired the next year. The Mets, they go to the 6th game of the NLCS. The next year, they're struggling to get over 500 and trying to sneak in as the 3rd wild card. The Yankees are your surest bet every year to get a bang for your buck. Whether you go to the game or watch the games on Yes, every single year they give you hope. No other team in New York, the greatest city in the world, has been able to do that. So when you want to bury people and you want people fired, put yourself in the shoes of other fan bases in this town. The greatest city in the world, what do they give you? Most of the time they give you crap. The Yankees at least give you hope. Those are Diamond Notes brought to you by London Jewelers. Visit London Jewelers today at any of their 7 locations, including the Americana Mall and the mall at Short Hills. Hey, ESPN New York is now live like never before. I'm excited about it. Streaming on YouTube. I'm looking at the camera right now. I'm waving. I've got my progressive lenses on today. I look terrific. I really do. My Fordham top, a black Fordham top. Your favorite shows, DiPietro and Rothenberg, Bart and Carlin, The Michael K. Show, Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg, all now with live video. So you match the face to the beautiful voices. Interact, react, and be part of the conversation live on YouTube. Subscribe now at ESPN New York on YouTube and never, ever miss a moment. Please, I want to talk to you about what I just said. Met fans, Yankee fans, you're welcome to come into the community and be the co-host. We lead you right up to Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg right here on 880 ESPN.
Bring the Ryder Cup spirit straight into your living room with Ryder Cup Live Watch Party Kits. You get everything you need to turn any space into the ultimate fan zone. Flags, cups, decor, and more. Host a few friends with the at-home kit or go big with the ultimate kit for larger gatherings. No matter where you are, you can celebrate in true Ryder Cup style. Ryder Cup Live Kits, your ticket to golf's biggest rivalry at home. To learn more, visit RyderCup.com.
Every aspect of your business will operate better and faster with artificial intelligence. AI is a race, and companies that act first will win. Thrive Managed AI is your advantage over all your competitors. Thrive partners with you on a smart, secure AI strategy for your business. Then they deploy and manage it for you. Be first and win the race with Thrive Managed AI. Start with a complimentary strategy consultation at thrivenextgen.com/ESPN. That's thrivenextgen.com/ESPN.
You know so much about who you are. But do you know what makes your body your body? With over 100 lab tests and insights, Function can help you know the truth. Because you know you're made of grit, wit, and a good heart. But just how healthy is that heart? You know you're made up of all the places you've called home. You know you're made of your mom's sarcasm. And now you can find out if you have her thyroid too. You know you're made of college all-nighters and 30s early-nighters, but those still don't explain your sleep issues. You know that you're made up of good meals with even better conversation. But are you actually absorbing those nutrients? A Function membership gives you a comprehensive health check with results tracked over time. Find out what you're made of at functionhealth.com.
There's a lot of reasons why people buy at Ramsey Mazda. It's their selection, it's their customer service, and it's their savings. Lease a new 25 Mazda CX-30 for $199 for 33 months. Start shopping now at RamseyMazda.com. Choose wisely. Choose Ramsey Mazda. Call 833-853-2970 for details. Then SM843629. MSRP $26,865. Zero security deposit. Ends 9/30/25.
At Uline, they know going the extra mile takes hard work. For companies pushing to go further, Uline will go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. Unexpected large orders, adverse weather, new safety guidelines, and changing economic trends. Uline works hard keeping 41,000 items ready to ship, minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com.
Did you know you can get more with New York Lottery Plus?
You pulling my leg?
No, seriously. Just enter scratch off and draw game tickets and get more points.
Pulling a fast one?
Nope. And you can put your points towards chances to win gift cards, cash prizes, and more.
Is this a stunt?
No, you even get points for playing new games.
You're pulling my chain, aren't you?
No.
Pulling my finger?
What? No, man, put that thing away.
Sorry.
Introducing New York Lottery Plus. Download the app, sign up, get more. Please play responsibly. Must be 18 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
What is it that makes the all-new Hyundai Palisade hybrid an incredible SUV? Is it the spacious interior that's comfy for the whole crew? Or the capability to go off-road? Maybe it's up to 600-plus miles of range. Is it the driver behind the wheel? What if it's all of that and more? What is it then? The all-new Hyundai Palisade Hybrid. So much more than just another SUV. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details. That's 562-314-4603.
Tire care shouldn't come with extra costs or surprise fees, and it should be simple, straightforward, and stress-free. So at Midas, they're rolling out the limited lifetime tire guarantee. Included with every tire purchase with paid installation, you'll pay nothing for flat repairs, nada for flat replacements, zilch for tire rotations every 5,000 miles, and zero for other preventative maintenance. So with this limited lifetime tire guarantee, you'll pay a whole lot of nothing compared to what the other guys charge for tire care. That's a limited lifetime tire guarantee only at Midas.
From the regular season to the Super Bowl, ESPN New York is your destination for football. We've got crazy fans,
If the Giants somehow beat the Cowboys, I'm going to take a dump on your head.
You can feel good because you're a damn football team.
Expert analysis.
Marcus Spears joins us now. ESPN NFL analyst Damian Woody.
Mel Kiper Jr.
The Hall of Famer Steve Young.
He's kind of our resident general manager, Louis Riddick.
We got Mike Tannenbaum right now.
And all your fantasy and wagering needs. This is ESPN New York. We are football.
Golf's brightest rivalry, or greatest rivalry, tees off at Bethpage Black, and the guys are bringing you all the action, energy, and passion straight from the course. Don't miss DiPietro and Rothenberg this Friday morning, only on ESPN New York. It's brought to you by Michelob Ultra. No matter what you're playing for, make it superior with Michelob Ultra. 2.6 carbs, 95 calories, a superior taste worth playing for. The official beer sponsor of the Ryder Cup. All right, we had a lot to say. Now I want to hear from you. Let's go to Michael in Astoria. Hello, Michael.
Okay, what's up, man? Big fan. Been listening to you for a minute, and
Thank
big
you,
Yankee
man.
fan. I'm not going to even bother to talk about the Giants. But last week I was hearing you about Judge being the MVP.
Yep.
And that he won't get it because the Yankee haters, which I totally agree.
Well, I think he still might get it, but I think if he doesn't get it, Mike, it's because Judge fatigue and a lot of people don't like the Yanks.
Right, and I don't know if you remember in '99, Jeter was up for the MVP, I think, and Pudge beat him out.
Yep.
I remember, because Yankee haters. I'm not biased. Jeter, I think, deserved it. But,
I think Michael, I don't know if you agree. I think you agree. I think Judge deserves it. If you look at all the numbers now.
Absolutely.
I mean, Raleigh is having just, a once-in-a-lifetime year. He's got 58 home runs now. So in 6 games, if he gets 4 more home runs, he ties Judge for the American League record. And if you want to go that route, the clean record. So I think that will win him some votes. But, I mean, just take a look at so everybody's going to look at this, well, home runs will win the day because Judge has 49. Okay, so if that's the case, then why didn't Judge win when Altuve won? He had 52 home runs, but Altuve had the higher batting average. So they pick and choose what's important. That's what they do. And I think it's going to be a fascinating MVP vote. Anthony in Queens. Anthony.
Hey, how are you, Mike?
I'm good. How are you, Tony?
I'm all right. So I just wanted to say I agree with you. I watch the Yankees every night with my son all year. They are a winning team. They're practically in the playoffs or give you a shot for the World Series every time. They made it last year. So, and I'm a big fan. I like Boone. I love when he comes out, gets ejected for his team, fights. I look forward for it. I love it. But I wanted to know a question or your opinion.
Okay.
Do you think Cal is going or has a shot to do it? In your opinion, do you think it could happen?
Has a shot to what? Win the MVP or hit 62?
Hit the 62. There you go. Break it with 63.
You know what, Ant? He's got a shot. It's going to be difficult because I saw how difficult it was for Judge to get to 60, 61, 62. I mean, there's a different kind of pressure. So far, he seems like he's been immune to the pressure. So he had his 58th yesterday, so he has 58, 6 games remaining. It's going to be some heavy lifting, but he can do it. And I think that if he does hit 63, I think the voters will look at that more than they'll look at all the other numbers that I tell you about Judge. I think Judge should win. I think Judge is, we're seeing something that, a streak of years that we haven't seen very often in baseball history. But if Raleigh hits 63, we'll see something that we've never seen. Switch hitter, American League, doing it clean. So, yeah, it's going to be a fascinating final week. Rob in Nyack. What's up, Rob?
What's up, Michael? Good talking to you. The Brian Cashman stuff, man, it's just got to stop. Give me a moment here.
Sure.
If you ran data analysis of his performance with the budget, I don't want to hear about the Jets or Giants. There's a salary cap. I don't want to hear about the Mets. It's a small sample size, 3 to 5 years, whatever it's been with Cohen. If you have the highest budget, Michael, if it was a marketing business and I gave my team, the head of the marketing department, the highest budget, and he didn't ever finish at the top for a 15-year span, we'd call that guy in and say, hey, how come I'm investing so much and we're never at the top? Okay? It goes beyond that as well in terms of Cashman. He neutered Aaron Boone on your show. That's bad leadership when he said, oh, if he doesn't go by the numbers, he's going to have to answer for that. Things happen. Someone's mother-in-law is visiting. They're arguing with their wife. Aaron Boone knows that. The players know that. The numbers that these machines pump out don't know that. Other teams are taking these things into consideration. Brian will not allow it. He's too deep in the analytic forest to see the trees. He needs to wake up. We'll win when we get rid of him. That's it.
Well, I mean, you make compelling points, Rob, and I'll try to answer. So if you said if he was on your business team and he didn't finish at the top, you'd call him in and get rid of him. Well, what if he finished in the top 2 or 3? Still have really good years, but didn't finish at the top. So their idea of success might be a little bit different. You know, I was talking to somebody the other day who illuminated me because I was saying, you know, the Yankees should change the messaging about, you know, World Series or bust. And this guy said nobody from the Yankee front office has said World Series or bust other than George Steinbrenner. Hal has never said it. Cashman's never said it. The ones that have said it are Judge and Jeter, which holds a lot of weight, I said. They said, well, we can't stop the players from saying that. But the only one who really ever said it was George Steinbrenner. And the game has changed and the rules have changed. You say the budget. You know, the Dodgers have won one regular season championship in all these years, and they've had the highest payroll for the longest time. Last year was the one they won. 2020, if you want to carry the COVID year, okay, they won that one. The Yankees have been the American League. I don't want to defend it because if it's World Series or failure, then you could say he's failed for 15 years. But if you look at success in other ways other than just, you know, being the last team standing, you could say he puts a team on the field every single year that has a chance to win. Did David Stearns do that this year? There are teams that have high payrolls. The Red Sox have high payrolls. They finished last a lot. Have the Yankees finished last ever since Cashman took over? Again, I don't want to be put in the unenviable situation of defending Brian Cashman. I'm just saying that of all the New York teams, they're the one team that every year gives you hope. Every single year at the beginning of the season, you could dream on a championship. No one else. I guess Met fans this year thought they could dream on a championship, and it's still alive if they make the playoffs. But this is not the route that you thought was going to happen. Don Hahn and Rosenberg will take over the airwaves in just a moment, so stay tuned for that. And in the words of Billy Joel, life is a series of hellos and goodbyes. I'm afraid it's time for goodbye again. See you, everybody. Hey, the FanDuel Sportsbook app is your home for all your favorite NFL bets. From yards to touchdowns to who will win, with FanDuel, any play can be the play of the game. FanDuel is giving all customers a 50% profit boost token on tonight's game. That's the Lions against the Ravens. You could build your own same-game parlay from the game tonight. Like, do you think Derrick Henry, the great running back, is going to score an anytime touchdown? Will Lamar Jackson go over in passing and rushing yards? How about Amon-Ra St. Brown? Over receiving yards. Those are just some of the things you could consider. So make FanDuel your go-to app for any snap. Just visit FanDuel.com/K. Play your game with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. 21 plus and physically present in New York. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. For help with a gambling problem, call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
You matter, and so does your well-being. If you're facing tough moments, struggling with anxiety, depression, thoughts of suicide, or substance use, help is here anytime you need it.